Hey everyone, Andre here with a Super Nintendo World update for you, and man, it's been way too long since I've been able to say that, because this time we have some news coming to you from Japan, Universal Studios Japan, in regards to the Donkey Kong Country expansion coming to their version of the Super Nintendo World. So let's get out of the way. We now have an opening date for this land, or rather an opening season at least, being spring of 2024. So sometime between March and May, presumably, you'll be able to go visit this land, this new expansion, for yourself in Japan. Now, in case you haven't been following this park news too much, we also know that this land, the Donkey Kong expansion, should also be opening up at Epic Universe as part of its Super Nintendo World, and it should be by and large identical to what we're about to see here. Because the Universal Studios Japan, also released a brand new trailer for the park, officially showcasing it for the first time, albeit in CG form. But again, it should be extremely faithful to the final version of the land. And let's take a look at it. Now, before we start the trailer, I want to give a shout out to the YouTube channel D Times for capturing this trailer. So I'll link to the trailer in full in the description below if you want to check it out for yourself directly without me pausing and talking over it. Otherwise, let's just get to this trailer, because right away we can see that they start us off in Super Nintendo World, because this land exists as part of it. You actually have to travel through the Mario Kingdom, through the Mario Mushroom Kingdom portion, to this gate in the back, which acts as a portal into, wait for it, Donkey Kong Country. And look how lovely this is. It's so lush with vegetation, and I really like how it's capturing that jungle feel. So right away we can see you actually have to cross a wooden bridge to get into this land itself, which is, neat. There's all kinds of bridges, of course, wooden bridges in Donkey Kong Country. It gives us this kind of rustic feel, which seems to permeate this entire park. Right ahead we can see Donkey Kong's a hut, basically, which reportedly is going to be a meet and greet. We get a better look at it here. Look at that detail already. It'll be really fun meeting, I think, Donkey Kong and the gang, the Donkey Kong crew, at his house. Going back, we can also see on the right is what's reportedly a merchandise shop, being Funky's Fly and Buy. You can actually see a sign for it right there. Let me see if I can zoom in. Look at that. See, Funky's Fly and Buy. It's of course in his it's as part of this crashed jet engine, or I don't know if it's crashed, but it's part of his plane here, with the I think the awning or side door acting as the storefront, or the overhang for the storefront. And of course, I think, is that a surfboard for that he hung his sign on? In any case, I love this. And in the back is where we can see a preview of the Golden Temple right ahead, which houses the upcoming, or the officially announced now, minecart attraction coming to this land, which we've known about again for some time now. So again, we have a close-up look at Donkey Kong's house. We have some bongos here. So there was rumored to be an interactive segment. This might be part of it, where I'm guessing you can just bang on these bongos. So that's gonna be a really fun activity here. Probably a loud activity too, but I love it. It's gonna be fun. Here we get a look at the Golden Temple itself, which, much like in the Mario movie and the games itself, seems to be very familiar, including a waterfall pouring out of its mouth. Really cool detail, love that. But then soon after, we can see the ride that it houses being this minecart attraction. So right now we can see, of course, Donkey and Diddy confirmed to be part of the ride, obviously. Not in the minecart itself, I imagine. But in any case, we can see the minecart you'll be riding in, and it looks like it seats at least 2x2, so 4 people total. It has a headlights on the front, which might be useful for the dark portions, because some of it is interior. And here comes a really cool part, though. Check this out. We're gonna see them fly through the air over a pond full of spikes. So that's terrifying, right? And I love too that is actually reflective of what's going to happen on the ride. And if you want a secret, I'm going to reveal to you how it works. If you don't want to know the secrets, skip ahead 20 seconds or so, or maybe 30 seconds to be safe, because there actually will be parts of this ride where it appears you're flying through the air. Now, the way that's going to work is, of course, you're not actually flying through the air. Instead, this track you see on top is fake. That's a fake track, and so the gap in it is, it doesn't matter, because you're actually riding on a lower track. You're actually attached to a track below it that the minecart attaches to with a sidearm type thing holding it up. So really clever design here. That's really going to make it feel like a lot of fun, and probably as convincing as this looks right now. But let me tell you what I'm really excited for. It's being launched out of the barrel cannon in the background, as we've theorized many times before, because we now know for sure that's exactly what's going to happen. Because check this out. The final scene of the trailer shows a minecart traveling into the barrel cannon, at which point I assume it will launch you out, or at least I hope. Now, I don't fully know the full layout or sequence of events for this ride, and I actually almost prefer it that way, but I don't want to spoil myself with everything in this ride. So I don't know whether the barrel cannon, which you can see right here, is at the beginning or the end. I would assume it's closer to the beginning, but in any case, we do know that when you reach this portion of the mine track that we saw earlier, where you jump the gap, shortly thereafter is when you'll re-enter, or when you'll enter the show building, where they'll have, you know, I'm sure a series of interior scenes, which could feature, you know, a few different characters, maybe different elements happening. I don't even know. That's what's exciting. We don't know what's happening on the interior of this attraction. However, there might be some more clues in some key art that Universal released. So let me go and bring it in here, because it shows off new characters that we didn't know about, new elements of the land, which again could apply to the ride, or could just apply to the land itself. We don't fully know. In any case, right away we had the Tiki enemy from Donkey Kong Country Returns, which we didn't know about, but makes sense given the fact that this entire land seems to be themed to the Donkey Kong Country Returns take on Donkey Kong Country. So they're probably going to be a key part of the ride, I assume. Probably getting into some kind of shenanigans, taking your bananas, as we can see here. In addition, Squawks might be part of the ride because, hey, he's flying around there, and I don't know where else he would appear, possibly at Donkey Kong's house, where we can also see Cranky Kong as well. So Cranky Kong is probably at the least a meet and greet character. Again, there's a chance to get part of the ride, though I assume it's probably more meet and greet. Speaking of characters, Dixie Kong confirmed here as well. It's possible she's part of the ride, though my take is she might be more of a meet and greet character, considering we only really see Donkey Kong and Diddy of the Kongs on the ride itself. So that's all really exciting. Now, beyond that, we also have a confirmation of an animal buddy here, being Rambi the Rhino, appearing out of a box like he does in the games. So what I'm thinking this might be is like maybe an animatronic, like off in the corner of the land, maybe behind these bongos that we can better see here, where he can just maybe, you know, walk up to him, maybe pet him, maybe there's some kind of like show involving him, like him and a handler, kind of like the Raptor exhibit at Jurassic Park at also Universal Studios. Also, another thing it reminds me of is maybe the Donkey meet and greet at Universal Studios, where you can actually talk to Donkey. No, I don't think you'll be able to talk to Rambi the Rhino because he's never talked before, but hey, you know, there's always first time for anything, right? Donkey Kong never really talked either until the Mario movie, so who knows? Beyond that, I don't think there's too much else in the way of new details here. Breaking news since I recorded that first segment, because we now have a look at some new merchandise coming to the Donkey Kong Country expansion. So thanks to Universal Parks News Today for bringing this news to our attention, because they have pictures of the new power-up bands that will be included as part of the Donkey Kong expansion for Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong. Now, I don't know if it's been announced for sure what these will do yet, if anything, in the Donkey Kong expansion portion of the land, but these will presumably still work just fine at the Super Nintendo World portion, where you can hit question blocks and do all kinds of other things as part of the land. So whether Donkey Kong will have its own interactive elements, we have yet to see, as far as I'm aware at least. In addition, there's new stuff you can buy as well, of course, including these banana tins, these cute little headbands you can wear with Donkey and Diddy Kong on them. Check this out. There they are. Look at that. Donkey Kong barrels as well, which you get a better look at down here as well. And there's other new Nintendo World merchandise featuring Donkey Kong, like this tin, which might be a puzzle, I don't know. These also like Happy Meal looking boxes. So among other things, I'm sure that'll be, you can buy at, you know, Funky's Flying By and wherever else Super Nintendo World. So there we go. Now let's resume. Let's get back to the video that I had recorded before we fully wrap it up. So that's pretty much it, everyone. But let's go back real quick just to this image, just because it gives a better idea of how it all connects together, where we can see the entirety of Super Nintendo World on the left, with the alleyway right here. You walk underneath the Yoshi ride at this bridge, underneath that, through the alley, into the Donkey Kong portal right about here, which then lead you into the entrance of Donkey Kong Country, meaning that bridge we saw earlier at the start of the trailer is right about here. And the right ahead is the Donkey Kong's house, the meet and greet, which we assume, along with the Flying By here on the right, and then of course the entire ride show building in the back, with Rambi the Rhino possibly appearing somewhere around here, if it's accurate to the bongo image in the that we brought up, you know, a few moments ago. So there you go, everyone. That is a look at Donkey Kong Country coming to Super Nintendo World in Japan. I can't wait. It's opening in a few months. I gotta go. I gotta find a way to get to Japan because I want to go on this brand new minecart ride in this amazingly themed land of Donkey Kong Country. It looks amazing. Once again, if you want to see the full trailer for yourself, go check out D-Land on YouTube. There'll be a link in the description below. Otherwise, we're done here, everyone. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to GameXplain for more on this land in the future and everything else Nintendo as well. We'll catch you later. Bye, everyone.